Now at 10, allegations of misconduct against Miami's police chief prompt an independent investigation. Plus, a business expansion opportunity will soon make its way to the city of Pittsburgh. And a young Southwest Missouri man takes his city's garbage issue into his own hands.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Miami, Oklahoma is hiring an independent investigator to look into allegations of misconduct against Police Chief Thomas Hightower Anderson. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Tanya Bach. The city did not provide details about the allegations, simply saying they were personnel matters. They also say the investigator will conduct a full, fair, and competent investigation. Chief Anderson has been placed on paid administrative leave until the investigation is complete. President Biden made his first extensive remarks tonight about his decision to step away from his re-election efforts and endorse Vice President Kamala Harris for the Democratic presidential nomination. Skylar Henry reports from Washington.
I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy.
In a primetime Oval Office address, President Biden spoke to the nation about his decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race.
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation.
When he announced over the weekend that he's no longer seeking re-election, Biden threw his full support behind Vice President Kamala Harris for the nomination.
The defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think is more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people.
President Biden, who stepped down under intense pressure following his poor debate performance last month, says he plans on staying in office until the next president is inaugurated in January.
They'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose.
In Charlotte, North Carolina, former President Donald Trump held his first rally since President Biden exited the race.
But really what happened was the leaders of the Democrat Party, in a very undemocratic move, the bosses, they said either you get out or we're going to throw you out using the 25th Amendment. That's what happened, you know that.
On Thursday, Vice President Harris is set to deliver a keynote address in Houston to the annual meeting of the American Federation of Teachers. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Biden called this election year, quote, one of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Eddy joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, of course, heating up for us today. Just a few days ago, we had highs into the upper 70s, back into the 90s for us today. 91 was our high, average high is 91, so right where we should be for the end of July. Record high 105 set back in 2022, just 2 years ago. Most of us now are sitting upper 70s to near 80 degrees, so it's still warm. We had some clouds out there earlier, but those have dissipated, so underneath the clouds we're just getting ground clutter from local radar sites. Through the night, we dropped back to 68, but back to 83 by 10 a.m. Some hit-and-miss storms over the next couple days, but the better chances are going to occur on Saturday, but it's not going to be super widespread. And then the heat and the humidity really start to kick in once again for us next week. We're going to be talking about that in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the city of Pittsburgh agrees to match 10% of the total cost to help expand a local business. The Blue Spoon has its eyes set on a new location. They hope to turn into a speakeasy-style bar and entertainment venue. Now, the location selected is on West 4th Street at the old Spicer Adams building. The project represents a total of an $800,000 investment. The city, which has agreed to match 10% of that cost through a grant, would pay $80,000.
And it's right off of downtown. There's so much energy going on downtown with Gorilla Rising and everything else that's being developed that it's just a stone's throw. It's an easy place to walk to. And anytime we can get the community together, having a good time, relaxing, and then the college students make everything just that much more exciting and fun. So yeah, I think it's a big time, big win-win for everybody.
Blue Spoon says they still have financial investments that need to be secured before the project starts. However, the project is expected to be complete this coming March. The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks is in dire need for blood donors. According to the center's website, over 60,000 donations of blood are required each year to supply people with transfusions. The CBCO says they are down to a historically low supply of blood, the lowest in the past 2 years. Now, donating blood is a life-saving act in many cases. The changing seasons can have an effect on the amounts of blood stored.
I like what the Blood Center does. They give them a chance to thank the donor. So it's thankthedonor.org, and we give them that piece of paper and ask them if they would like to thank the donor. And it puts a smile on their face because they're able to say to the actual donor how much it means to them.
Some ways you can help are by attending local blood drives and donating a pint of blood. Individuals with rare blood types are highly encouraged to donate for other rare blood types in need. Well, a new turn in the battle to get trash picked up in parts of southwest Missouri. Frustration from Cards customers has gone on for months now. In the past few days, though, several customers say they haven't had their trash picked up for weeks. Adam Woodbury reports on a young man who's working on a solution for his neighbors in Wright County.
He's just trying his best and he's working really hard. And
trash building up on the curb.
He's very genuine in his desires to help the community.
That's the reality for many in Wright County.
Yep. This is how the old trash company started out, so I decided to do the same thing.
A reality Farmer Deckard is working to change. Many in his community say they're fed up with Cards Recycling not picking up their trash.
They started out decent for our place. They would come, they may be a day or two late, but the last 3 months, they show up maybe once a month. They ain't showed up for a month now.
Justin Dedman is one of many card customers who reached out to KY3 News, hoping we could find some answers after his questions went unanswered. He says he prepaid for 3 months of trash pickup, and when Cards didn't pick up, he tried to cancel.
Cards said, yeah, you can cancel, but we're not giving your year money back.
KY3 has been covering Cards for months. Complaint after complaint about trash not getting picked up. Calls unanswered, promises to pick it up not kept, and no refunds. We didn't get a call back from them today about the new complaints, but a company spokesperson told KY3 back in April he didn't think they would fall behind again and promised refunds on a case-by-case basis.
That's what we're really working towards getting finished by this Saturday and making sure, and it might run a little bit over into that Sunday morning. I don't believe it will, but I can confidently say that starting Monday, we'll be back to regular schedule.
Well, no one was happy with Cards, so I just thought, well, heck, go ahead and try doing it. See what happens.
That's where Farmer has now stepped in. He set up shop and began loading the Cards customers' trash into his trailer. Since then, Farmer has been picking up trash, and word around the community is spreading.
My little brother, he told me that, hey, if you need help, Farmer said he started picking up trash. So I called Farmer yesterday, and he'll be out here Monday to start picking my trash up.
Many are now paying him for their trash service.
What do you feel like you've gotten out of doing this?
Just helping the community. Out doing it is what I look at it. Helping them.
If you're still having issues with your trash and can't get answers, you can always report businesses to the Better Business Bureau and the Attorney General's office.
Well, the Outlaws look to maintain momentum following last night's dramatic victory. Sports Director John Dales has the story from Joe Becker Stadium and more coming up later in sports. But first, we're headed to the Wilson County Fair to meet a girl with more than a decade's worth of fair experience.
About Will Scharf.
Cherokee County Fair kicked off this week at the Cherokee County Fairgrounds in Columbus. Every summer, this annual event hosts 4-H and open class exhibits, food, carnival, and other vendors. Now, one longtime fairgoer explains what keeps them coming back.
When I first started coming to the fair, I was baby, a few months old probably. At the fair, I like to help take care of the animals. Sometimes I ride carnival rides.
There'll also be live music performances every night of the fair. In Oswego, the Labette County Fair rolls on. Visitors can check out more livestock shows, including dairy cattle and dairy goats, as well as a livestock auction. Visitors tonight also had a chance to check out some mutton busting.
What do you do when you mutton bust?
Well, good evening,
Hold on
guys.
tight.
We are just about 5 minutes away from kicking off night number 2 of the mutton bust.
No fear at all. They're going to be just fine. They're going to do just fine. He's done it my oldest has done it for 3 to 4 years now, so no big deal. Just really exciting to watch them learn and grow in this moment and understand to gain confidence in what they're doing.
Did pretty good. The fair heads into the weekend with a demolition derby on Saturday night. Well, the Wilson County Fair is back in town in Fredonia, hosting livestock judging, photography, art, poster competitions, and more. KOAM's Melissa Alexis checked it all out.
There's a lot that goes into it, but it's really satisfying to see it all come together when your animals are like perfect and giant teddy bears at the fair.
Shelby Smith has competed in livestock judging contests for many years. She started showing small animals like baby calves when she was just 6 years old. She now shows much bigger steers.
So I show steers now, and I've done that. It's my passion. It's my favorite thing. This year I have 2. Their names are Jim and Bob. They're best friends.
She says preparing for the livestock judging competition is a lot of time and hard work.
Every day my dad and I get up at about 5:30. We go down, we tie them to the trailer, and then we feed them tied up, and then we lead them a couple of laps each. We make sure that they have water, and then we also tie their heads up so that they get used to like standing at attention and looking all pretty.
Animals aren't the only pretty things you'll find at the fair. You'll also find art projects and creative wildlife posters. Grayson Coulter has participated in the poster competition since he was 7. Now he judges the posters at the fair.
Well, I'm judging a wildlife project. One is like appearance of the board, information on the board, and then also leads into what the knowledge they have, how well they do public speaking, because this is a public speaking project. That's kind of the whole point of it.
The public speaking is one part that Shelby Smith enjoys. In addition to livestock, she's competed in the poster competition for more than a decade.
About 13 years. In particular, I do shooting sports posters, which is the same premise but with gun safety instead of animals. So I've been doing it for 13 years. I've had a lot of success. I've won grand champion a couple of times.
Smith says she looks forward to seeing the creativity the fair brings out in everyone. Reporting in Fredonia, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
And the fair will continue through this Sunday in Fredonia. Well, a little later, action on the diamond for the Cardinals and Royals. John Dales has those stories and more in sports.
Plus, we're going to heat up a little bit more as we go through about the next week or so. We're going to look at that coming up.
Menards on all.
Well, it was definitely a hot Wednesday for us today, but overall a pretty good day. We had the cumulus clouds kind of popping up during the afternoon. Couple isolated showers, 98% of us ended up staying on the dry side. Looks good right now, nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, temperatures coming down a little bit, but still warm at 75 in Stockton, 78 in Neosho. Bentonville sitting at 79. We have 77 Veneta, Miami, Pittsburgh, 79, and Chanute Independence is sitting at 77. Humidity creeping up a bit past couple days. These are our dew points, measures how much moisture is out there, and they are mainly sitting about 65 to 70. So if we look at our scale, that puts us kind of in that sticky to muggy range, and that's where we're going to sit as we go through the next couple days. Pretty much clear skies now, even though we had some clouds earlier. Random little isolated shower. This is all ground clutter, so we are looking pretty good as we go through the rest of the overnight hours for us tonight. If we widen the vantage point, still upper level flow out of Canada. It's summer, so it's hot, but we're not dealing with the extreme heat because our big upper level high has been pushed out across the western third of the country. Until that builds in, we're not going to see any extreme heat across the region. All right, let me walk you through what we're going to see as we go through the next couple days. 68 to 70 by morning. As we go through the morning hours, we should warm upper 80s by about the noon hour, and I think most of us 91, 92 degrees. Now notice some isolated thunderstorms popping up. Over 90% of us will end up staying dry, but there's going to be a couple little hit and miss guys out there. Anything that would develop falls apart once the sun sets, and then we go into Friday. We start near 70 once we get into the afternoon, upper 80s once again, and hit and miss little isolated storms. Our better chance is actually going to be on Saturday. Day planner on Thursday, 70 to start, 88 by noon, 90 by 4, high temp, 92 degrees. Heat indices are going to be up there a little bit. It's going to feel like mid to upper 90s across the board. They come down just a hair on Friday, but still we're going to have heat indices into the low to mid 90s once we go into Friday afternoon. All right, let's go down the road for you. Let's go into the weekend. We have a weak wave rotating in. This is going to be Saturday. The better chances for rain, Springfield, Branson, north central parts of Arkansas, but we are going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there late Saturday. This kind of lifts on through by Sunday, back into the low to mid 90s. Once we go into Monday, we heat up again, upper 90s to near 100. May get a couple showers late Monday, and then near 100 by Tuesday, so it gets much hotter next week. We get back into the part of the pattern we had in the second half of June, and that was a pretty hot stretch. 92 tomorrow, 89 on Friday, 86 Saturday, back into lower 90s on Sunday, and then accelerating upward near 100 the second half of next week.
I'm going to choose to enjoy Saturday and not even think about next week.
Saturday looks pretty good.
Yeah, we'll take that. And in the 60s in the evening?
Yeah, not too bad.
That's good. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, still ahead, Pittsburgh State softball coach Jenny Fuller leaves for Division I school. And Riverton's 12 and under All-Stars prepare for the Midwest Region Tournament in Indiana. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
This weekend, beat the clock for huge.
Pittsburgh State softball had an historic 2024 season, which ended at home in the regional round of the NCAA tournament. Today, the Gorillas head coach announces she's leaving PSU for a Division I job. Jenny Fuller has accepted the head coaching position at Northwestern State, which competes at the D1 level. She was the head coach for the Gorillas for the past 3 seasons, compiling a record of 105 and 55. In her first season in 2022, Pitt State finished with just 10 wins. The next year, the Gorillas finished with a winning record for the first time in 6 years. Then 2024, Fuller became the first head coach in program history to lead a team to 50-plus wins. Now, we don't have word yet from Pittsburgh State as to when or how they plan on filling the head coaching vacancy. The Riverton 12 and under All-Stars are headed to the Little League Baseball World Series Midwest Region Tournament in Indianapolis next weekend. Now, they got to this point by winning the Kansas State Championship last weekend. This evening, the Riverton 12U All-Stars hit the practice field. It's the first time since 2010 that they'll represent the state of Kansas in the Midwest Regional, and just the second time since 2002. This team has a matchup with the Iowa State champs in the opening round of the tournament and is excited for what's to come.
The teams we played, this is a tough area. You know, Baxter, Galena, Cherokee, Pittsburgh, they're good teams. And to overcome that is huge for us. We're a small town of 900 people. So these boys worked hard, and they came out on top, and they deserve it.
It was a pretty cool experience for being my last year, because last year they beat us, and just fun to beat them this year. I look forward to winning it. I want to win it, and can't wait to play that.
Over to Joe Becker Stadium, another night, another game going down to the wire between the Outlaws and the Fort Smith Marshals. Last night, Joplin won in 11 innings. Tonight, it holds a tenuous 1-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. To Major League Baseball, Cardinals at the Pirates. Top of the second, no score. Cardinals would have runners on the corners with 2 outs. Pedro Pajas takes the ball inside. Joey Bart throws to second on a delayed steal. Nick Gonzalez cuts it off and gets Dylan Carlson out over at third. That ends the inning. Cardinals miss out on a golden scoring opportunity. Bottom of the second, Pirates up 2-0. Connor Joe, it's a liner into center. Carlson lays out, can't make the catch. It bounces off his glove. 2-run score, it's a double, and the Pirates are up 4-0. Fourth inning, Rowdy Tellez crushes, and I mean crushes this pitch out of the park into the Allegheny River. Pirates take a 5-0 lead. In the fifth inning, same score, 5-0. Martin Perez in a little bit of a jam. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Wilson Contreras, though, grounds into a fielder's choice. That ends the inning. Cardinals get shut out by the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Final score, 5-0. And in Kansas City, the Royals lose as well tonight, 8-6 to the Diamondbacks. Casey allows 5 runs to score in the top of the 9th inning, which proves to be the difference. James MacArthur picks up the loss and the blown save out of the bullpen. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Casino is paying out big casino.
So it looks like we're going to start to warm up a little bit as we go through the next couple days. Tanya was going to try to jump over me and go to sports first, so I just decided we're just going to skip that. 92 tomorrow, 89 on Friday. Some very hit and miss storms. A little more hit once we get into Saturday. Temperature is pretty good. Then we accelerate upward next week.
I guess we're saving the best for last then.
Yeah, that we are. I would not be surprised to see some news on the Pittsburgh State softball coaching front in the next couple of days. After Jenny Fuller leaves today, we know the PSU has shown a history of filling those vacancies pretty quickly.
All right, we'll be watching that for sure. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night and an even better Thursday.
TV is sponsored by Aaron.